Hello Aqua friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Nicole and I'm glad you're joining me today. If you want to grow your watercolor skills and decrease that learning curve, then subscribe to my channel because I literally post long form and short videos every week to help you achieve your goals. So let's get right into it. So the first thing that we're going to do is wet our paper really well first. And I've already sprayed these guys. Some blues, yellows, reds. So colors are ready to go. There's puddles in there. And I'm just going to wet my paper really well. I'm actually using Stonehenge paper. It lifts very easily, and I thought since I'll be lifting up the circular shapes for the bokeh lights that this would be a very good paper to use for such a thing. So I am just gonna start putting down the colors as I see them. Some kind of like orangish in the middle that goes a little bit more red up here. A little more red down here. And a purpley, pinky color. And add a little bit of some blue here. Get this a little bit more purple. I'm going to switch to this very kind of warm orangey yellow as we kind of like transition to the yellowy spots. So I just want to make sure that all the surface is covered, which it is. Now this is a little too bright compared to the rest. I am going to pick up some of that pigment. There we go. So with a damp stamper, I'll start pulling up some highlights a little bit. Every time I'm done with the stamping, I rinse it off and go back in. Now where it's like super saturated, I can actually soak up some of that excess water and my edges will fill back in and I'll probably have to redo that. But you know what? It'll help just to soak up that water. Now I'm going to rinse it out here because I'm going to move down where it's drier. So if I don't rinse it and get a couple of good ones here. It's a good one. That's a good one. And I like to overlap them too. You get really cool effects that way. You could even do this as a multimedia project and do the fluffs in pastel or a fine tip marker, pencil crayon, all kinds of stuff. So I actually think that I am going to stop there. I'm just making a very light mark. And in the background, it's like real soft. Each time I'm wiping off my script liner brush. And you can see it's lifting just a little bit. It's kind of neat. And then it has these very tiny little like pins. So, and they're just kind of random. This is the very center. So I want to kind of get that back in there. But it's so soft, you know what I mean? We don't want that to be the main attraction. So the paper's still wet there, and these little flecks are just melting in and not being too noticeable, but cute nonetheless. Yeah, I'm liking how that looks. So just adding all the little seeds. So I think that's good for that little guy. Now the front one is in the foreground, so I'm going to wait for the paper to dry. And I'm going to take a thinner brush. This number 6 or even the number 4 has like a really fine point. And I can get a really thin line with this, but it still holds lots of water. So I actually want to draw with the water. I think that looks good, and just kind of start my center off here and drop in the same brown. I'll just stick with the same brown. I think this is a burnt umber. It's kind of like a, let's see, reminds me of Van Dyke brown, but a little richer color. Pull this out randomly. There's a lot of these spokes, if you will. I'm increasing the saturation of the brown a little bit so it looks more in the foreground. And just keep going until you're happy with the amount that you have, which I think I'm getting close. And now we're going to just randomly add in all those little seeds. So really, it's a pretty fast project except for these tiny little details. This is a little tedious, but I think once I'm finished, we need one right there, I think, that it'll be worth it. It's going to look pretty neat, I think. I'm also varying my color. Some of the seeds I'm making darker, some lighter. And basically I'm just going to keep doing that until I like the way that it looks. I want it to look a little fuller. And that concludes our lovely bokeh painting today. Drop me a line in the comments below and let me know if you're going to paint this.